The fuck is this?
That was good.
Yo.
Hello, hello. Yeah. Perfect. Ooh. Apologies for that. That will be fixed on the post edit, so you'll be able to enjoy everything that we just spoke for the last 15 minutes.
This shit is exciting, though.
Yeah. We learn and we adapt. I'm a little sick. Perfect. All right.
So I'll ask you again.
Please.
Has getting large tips has getting large tips changed the way that you know?
Okay. Vai volumen. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's try that one more time,
Let's do it again.
please.
Right. Okay. So we get a lot of large extra tips at our restaurant.
Yes.
Has that changed you in any way?
I would say that it at times it makes you feel like,
Right.
but always grateful for what
For
you get.
very quick context again, I'm talking about tips of over $10,000 are common enough. It doesn't happen every day, but they are common enough that when it happens at our restaurant, you say, damn, bro, congratulations. And then you get on with the rest of your night.
Absolutely.
Like, we're blessed at where we work. So how has that changed you? The way you think, the way you behave? What is different about you because of this fortune that we have?
Well, I will say that at times someone will say, "Oh, how about can you do this for that?" And it'll be like,
Yeah.
"No,
Yeah.
no." Or, "Oh, hey, can you help me out with this job? I'll pay you $100." And you'll be like, "No, no."
I'm glad you said that because I feel exactly the same way. So,
You're like, "No."
so when I thought of this question, the first thing that came to my mind was I need to make it clear that my appreciation for any tip has never declined, ever. I have never looked at an extra tip and been like, oh, fuck that. No, never. If someone acknowledges that the service charge on the check is not sufficient to express their gratitude for your service, anything they write extra makes a huge impact.
Big impact.
Huge impact. But the excitement has died down after a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit.
It's more difficult for people as fortunate as us to get as excited about what you would call a normal tip. What is the biggest normal tip for you? What's the biggest number that you still say anything this and below I'm grateful for, as we've acknowledged, but it doesn't excite me anymore? What's that number for you?
It's no, I don't necessarily have one.
I got
honestly,
one.
because
I got one.
Nowadays, like you said, things are tight here and there. So getting those 20s from certain tables, that those little 20s are like, thank you. I know that was extra.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Even those, I'm
Amazing.
like,
Amazing.
I know, thank you. So, but when you get that 100, you're like, yes, From there, or lately 50s, and those are very nice as well. Like 50s, like.
50s are appreciated.
Those add up really nicely. So
50s are appreciated. Now, I will say this with no disclaimer. For me, it's $100 and below. Anything less than $100, it doesn't really tickle me anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't tickle me anymore. And I agree with you. We're on the same page.
True.
With the extras attached to this, which are...
For the record, you tend to work with larger tables. I tend to work with smaller tables as well. So that's why the 20s are a little bit more acceptable when it's a two-top than when you have a table of 10, 20 people, 15 people, and they're like giving you $20. So
right. I mean, we already gave the appreciation disclaimer, so I don't even think we have to say it anymore.
Got it.
But that being said, anything $100 and below doesn't excite me anymore. It's just the nature of the biz, bro. It's where we are. But I agree with you with the extras attached to that.
Yeah.
And the extras attached are honestly a lot of fun. What this reality, well, skewed reality of extra tips has created for me is like my zero like bullshit acceptance. Like I'll give you an example. We used to have a dessert, and that dessert changed to include something else. And together it was much more expensive. But we couldn't offer this dessert by itself anymore, even though we used to. So this guy comes in, he's like, yo, I want the dessert. I'm like, well, the dessert is still here, but it's a little different because it includes something else and it's much more expensive now. No, I don't want that extra thing. I just want the original dessert. I said, I hear you, big boy, but I don't make the rules. We do it this way now. And he was like, nah, there's no way. Nah, you bullshit me. I was like, I'm being honest with you. Then he was like, listen, I'll give you $200 if you give me that cake just by itself. And I looked at this guy and I said, $200 is not worth me getting in trouble for. It's not worth me getting yelled at for $200. And you could tell by the way he offered it that this was like his it was in his quiver. It was like he let it loose. He was like, I'm gonna knock him out with this one. And I was like, nah, not really. $200 is not worth me getting in trouble over. Now, if you had said, I'm gonna give you $200 cash 10 years ago, right? When I was making $50,000 a year, I would have been like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll take it right up. Yeah. I'll take it right up for $200.
Why not?
But now, no. We are blessed enough and fortunate enough, and if we work well enough, which we all do, we're cruising down the street of possible big tips every single night. So it wasn't worth it. And I thought to myself, I was like, yo, okay, I'll give you another example. Have you ever taken a Zelle payment from somebody?
I have.
No, not a Zelle tip. Oh. You pay for someone's check because they having card issues. And they sell you the check amount and then whatever. Yeah. You've done that before.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a guy's check who was like $1,200, give or take a couple of bucks here and there. He was like, he tried to pay for 20 minutes, and the guy was real cool. I think this is what allowed me to open up my mind to doing this.
Yeah,
real cool dude, but whatever.
Yeah, it's not working.
His cards weren't working.
We said about it last week. If you don't call you back before, you're gonna have to call
His cards weren't working, and it took too long, and he had to go. So he was like, "Listen, man." He pulled me aside. He was like, "Yo, can you pay for me, and I'll Zelle you right now."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, how much you gonna Zelle me?" He was like, "Oh, I was like, how much you gonna Zelle me?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I'll Zelle you $1,400." I was like, "No." I was like, "You Zelle me $2,000, and I'll do this for you." You see what I mean? Yeah. I'm in a different zone. Yeah. I'm in a different zone. You want me to do this for you? You got to pay me for it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really the only way it's changed me, because I've never really been greedy. I've never been like, I'm a shark, but I'm like, I don't bite unnecessarily. You know what I mean? I don't
get so much shit for this one.
I don't bite unnecessarily. What, for the Zelle? Come on, man. So yeah, it's like if you're going to do something wrong, you got to do it right. It's as simple as that. You're not gonna get me in trouble for $200, but if you're flirting with 800, 1,000, I'll take a write up for $1,000. I'll take a write up for $1,000. But you got to keep it real with people, because we deal with animals. We deal with wild animals in this business.
There you go.
And you want to be a fucking lion tamer, you got to fucking you know what I mean?
Big difference from doing what you're doing and being toxic. By the way, which is where we're going.
Yeah, go ahead.
About some toxic coworkers. And first off, I want to ask, what do you consider to be a toxic trait of an employee or a coworker?
I would say someone who's greedy. Not, since we're on the topic, greed, like people just won't let go. And greed comes with paranoia. Like people think that you're trying to be greedy around them, even though it's nothing of the sort. It's like gaslighting. Is that?
You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they project that insecurity onto you, and then they don't trust you when you've done nothing to break their trust. They're just living in this hyperactive world in their minds where they just have to keep getting money and getting money and getting money, and another table, another table, another table. I'm just like, relax.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. I just got $800 from this scammer. I'm good. I'm good. I don't got to fucking hustle. You know what I mean? I just got a $500 tip from a fantastic family. I don't got to fucking go crazy. People get like the fucking virus. I gotta make money. Yo, relax, bro.
You gotta stop living over your needs.
Relax, man.
Oh my God. Well, a toxic trait can be any habit or constant behavior that affects the overall operation, whether it's poor communication, consistent negative attitudes, a lack of accountability, and undermining your coworkers. A couple of examples of poor communication with your guests or the kitchen. You constantly make mistakes, or you ring in things that are not proper. So everybody's doing mistakes because you did not communicate it well. Or management's towards staff when they actually don't communicate properly what they're expecting from the staff to do, and then actually kind of creates a little bit of that toxic environment. Consistent negative attitude, like, I'm tired of this place. I don't want to be here. I hate this place. All that attitude, all that negativity, nobody wants that. It's not needed.
I'm kind of like that, but I like my coworkers. So I'd be like, man, tired of this fucking place.
And that's okay.
But I say that as like I'm hugging my coworker and we're making fun of it together.
Actually, so I want to, since you mentioned that, I want to talk about two things. One, superficial complaints, and the other one's an official complaint. So a superficial complaint is like, like you said, it's just complaining about, having jokes and all that. I have a coworker that says, I'm the first one to bitch about something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like where I'm at. And that's okay, because they're superficial things like that, like complaining about, taking that last table, but you're still going to take that last table because that is your responsibility, for example.
That's called bitching.
Exactly. So bitching is one thing. Too
we
much
all
of
bitch.
it can lead to toxicity.
We all bitch,
but
man.
Just a little amount of it,
we all
that
bitch,
is okay.
Man. We all
now,
bitch.
An official complaint is that you can say we're understaffed in X area or department, and we're not delivering as expected. That is an actual appropriate complaint, right?
All right.
Now, going into also lack of accountability is when someone says that's not my job, right? That's definitely not something that
I don't think I've ever said that sentence. I've even when I was like first starting out, I don't think I've ever said that. I've never uttered those words in a restaurant setting. Isn't that weird?
That's good, man. Respect.
Hey,
I'm glad you feel that way. Or one that managers do. It'll solve itself. I hate that one.
Sometimes it will, though.
Sometimes it will.
I always say restaurants are natural filters. They're natural filters. If there's a piece in a restaurant that isn't working, it doesn't go with the flow, it doesn't, align with most people, because you don't have to get along with everybody, that thing will filter itself out. A shitty restaurant is a restaurant where there's one element, let's call it one of your coworkers is a fucking scumbag or a gaslighter or a fucking a cokehead or who doesn't like to take care of their tables, and you get in trouble because they're terrible at their jobs, and that person never gets fired, then you're working at a really, really shitty restaurant. If there's a person who doesn't get along with anybody, nobody likes them, and they still work there, you working at a bad restaurant. A good restaurant is a good filter. Eventually, that person who's sticking out and they are not helping, nobody likes them, that person will get eliminated one way or another.
Yeah. Now, this last one, which can lead to toxic behavior, it's also one of those things that servers or front of the house does that kind of helps filter that out. And that's undermining your coworkers, which is either whether you withhold important information or spread comments about that coworker's performance.
Yeah.
Now, that one per se, yes, can consider it as a toxic, but in many restaurants, it's actually how things are handled. Because let's talk about how to handle a toxic coworker.
You got to clock out and throw hands. Off the clock, out of the building. You got to clock out and throw hands. Listen, you've never threatened a coworker with violence? You have. Come on, Mr. Sunshine. You have. I think.
I'm proud of it.
I'm telling you. I think who said this? Mike Tyson. Somebody who's known for violence in a professional setting said the world would be a nicer place if people were afraid to get punched in the face.
Correct.
I have told a coworker, "Yo, let's clock out and let's go outside right now." Because I mean, and this is like a boiling point. This is when like it goes too far. But sometimes you gotta sometimes people have to get punched in the face, bro. Either professionally, philosophically, metaphorically, or literally. Sometimes, you can't finesse a bull. You got to grab that shit by the horns and fucking olay that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Man, that felt very vivid because you mentioned that, and it reminded me of what I said to someone. Said, why don't we clock out? And we discussed it a couple blocks down the way. And it's like, why a couple blocks down the way? Because only one of us is going to come back. And I want to make sure that what happens a couple of those blocks out of the way doesn't come back to hunt us here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Man, that was tough.
I'm always smiling and I got my hair combed, but I'll knock you out. Is that what you said to that motherfucker?
No, God damn it. It's like,
it was too much. It was too much. Don't let the goatee and the smile fool you. I'll elbow you, bro.
Listen, we will go out and one of us will come back. Either you come back or I'll come back. That's it. So how to handle a conflict so work? Well, number one, you talk to them. And I know this sounds hard.
I don't think that's bad. It's hard, but
you want to talk to them.
It's doable.
It's very doable. You go to that person and you can be like, hey, notice you're slipping a little bit. Is everything okay?
Okay. When does that person commit a crime big enough that you no longer make that effort? What crime is big enough where you say, you know what, fuck this person. I don't want to help them anymore.
In my case, after I talk to them and I offer to help.
Yeah.
If those things don't work, then there's other ways.
Then you cast them
dealing
out.
With it.
They're cast out.
But usually the first thing you want to do is you want to try to talk to that person and as diplomatic as you can. Hey, I noticed you're slipping a little bit. What's going on?
It feels good. It feels good to remedy those things.
Yeah.
It's a good warm feeling.
Yeah.
I'd rather speak to someone, get to the bottom of what's going on, see how I can help. I mean, if I know this person.
Yeah.
If this person is like not part of my this is my coworker, then fuck them.
Yeah.
But if there's a coworker of mine who's like real, and I'm not talking about like, everyone has ups and downs. Everyone has bad days. I'm talking about, they're in the doghouse with me. The idea of bringing them back and then resolving things is a great feeling.
Yeah.
But
my
deal breaker is if they have spoken like ill of me.
Ooh.
If I find out that they are talking bad about me, then it's either let's clock out and get off the property, or it's fuck them.
3 blocks away, so you're out of the
or it's forget about them, because I don't like, nobody's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Everyone has ups and downs. One of the things I take pride in is I put a lot of effort into not talking about my coworkers behind their backs. I put a lot of effort into it because it means that when people realize that, they can understand that if they want to tell me something, they want to confide in me with something, they know they can confide in me in something. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I hate talking about people behind their backs. I'm too confrontational for that.
Yeah.
I love confrontation. So I don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
So I don't like talking about people behind their backs.
Well, here's where things start getting a little funny. Because after you make the approach to talk to this person and say, hey, again, what's going on? And perhaps even after you say, hey, how can I help? Is there anything that we can do to improve that? Yada, yada. If that doesn't happen, then the appropriate thing to do, which is not what is done. I want to be clear about that. The appropriate thing to do would be to discuss that with a supervisor or management. However, this is not what is done in almost any restaurant.
That's tough.
Let's be real.
That's tough.
Let's be real.
What's tough about that, bro?
It's done in some, but let's be real. In most restaurants, it is not done. Now, what usually happens because that is not done? Two things happen. You want to
hold on?
Go for it.
Because you say I always talk about managers, but I have a question.
We're going to talk about managers as well after this. Because first, we'll talk about coworkers, and then what about managers can do. But go for it.
Okay, so then I'll wait for that. Go ahead.
So usually something that actually tends to happen at work are 2 things, depending on who you are. Number 1, alienating, which you already mentioned. It's like, listen, this person is dead to me. You don't even say hi to this person. Nothing. You're like, done. We've already tried it. You're done. Okay. The other one that tends to happen, bullying. It happens constantly.
What, like you can't finesse a bull? Like going back to bull, right? Like bull?
No, more like bullying, because let's say that
bullying or bullying?
Bullying. Oh, thank you. Bullying. Thank you. So let's say someone's always late, right? Or let's say that someone's just never there. or calls out or whatever the reason is. So at that point, we'll start saying, let's call this person Johnny, for example, right? And we'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I did a Johnny too late. And the whole point is that we're bringing out the fact that I'm being as responsible, but not as irresponsible as someone else. And that is the one thing that a lot of people will do to make sure that managers understand this instrument needs some fine tuning, and it is your responsibility to do something about it. I understand that what we're doing, it is not appropriate, but what you're doing or lacking of doing, it's actually affecting us a lot more. Now let's talk about what management can do or should do.
I have a question.
When encountering a toxic employee. Go ahead.
I have a question for managers.
Yes.
How do you really feel when people come to you, when employees come to you and give you complaints about another employee?
They absolutely hate it.
I would say a good manager, even a good manager, would, be sympathetic. Yes, I understand. I'll get right on that. But I feel confident in saying that there's not a single manager that hears another employee complain about another employee and not think, you're a fucking tattletale, bro. You're a little tattletale.
It is.
You're a little snitch. You couldn't resolve this shit on your own. You couldn't talk like adults. Hey, I have an issue with you. Well, you have to come to me. In the PDR to the office. I got to deal with you fucking servers and bartenders all night. And the one moment I have to have the only benefit I have in this job, my manager meal, because I don't get paid a lot of fucking money. I'm eating my fucking filet. It's already kind of cold because it's been on the pass for fucking 25 minutes. Because I didn't have time to get to it because I had to deal with some administrative bullshit, some trivial thing.
Or you.
Yeah. And I'm finally away from the floor. I'm eating in peace. And you gotta come in here because Tom. Because Tom came 7 minutes late and he clocked in 10 minutes late, and you feel like he's abusing the pool. Grow the fuck up, man. Let's start a GoFundMe to supplement manager. Restaurant managers are like teachers. They don't get paid enough for the shit they do. That's why we're not managers. I don't know about you. That's why I'm not a manager. I'm not a manager.
Too expensive.
I'm not a manager, man, because they work way too hard and they don't get paid enough.
Now, what are some things that managers could do to deal with toxic employees? I'm going to start with one.
Give me some context.
One of them.
Give me an example.
Of course, I'm going to give you one. One of them is hire slow, fire quick. That is one of the techniques that you can try to do. Because, yes, we understand that we all want to have people that know and they have their skills and their experience, etc.
Yeah.
But if someone comes to your job to apply and they don't have the proper attitude or the desire to learn, then honestly, you're actually hurting yourself and your operation a lot more.
Preach, brother, preach.
And a little tip on that is that when you hire someone to a restaurant, don't hire just one. Try to hire 2 or 3. The reason behind this is because if you just hire one person, the toxicity in the restaurant will actually drive that person away before they can actually stand on their own. If you hire 2 or 3 people, they actually become a bit of a unit. And the people that are around them, if they're positive, like the hiring that you actually did, then that's going to affect everyone else in a positive way as well. And those who know are doing wrong, they're going to feel it. And they're going to be scared because they know that person or that person or that person can have my job.
What about that person?
I don't stand up.
Wow, you get really passionate.
Yeah. Hey.
Sometimes, huh?
Hey, man, it's just...
you feel that?
You
feel that?
Managers got to manage.
Coño, you get passionate, bro.
There you go. Another one that they do, and this one that doesn't tend to work, fear and control. Fear and control is when those managers, instead of...
Explain that one.
Explaining or going to the person, like going to Johnny and say, Johnny, you're arriving late all the time. You're calling out often. So you're hurting the team because you're not here when we need you, right? So at that time, instead of just going to that person and talking to them, they address the issue, not the person. So they will go on pre-shift. And they will say, oh, we don't need anybody arriving late. We're going to start issuing warnings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it becomes a thing about everyone except that one person who we all know is doing wrong.
But
Right?
that's what I get mad at. Sometimes when I see somebody doing something on the floor, I don't reprimand them like I'm their boss. But I have told people, yo, don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's only because we're going to have to hear about it at fucking pre-shift.
And I don't want to hear about it.
I'm telling you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to hear about it at pre-shift.
Absolutely.
I have said that. I have ended a sentence with that a lot. But how do you feel when you're at pre-shift and you know they're talking about you?
Ooh, that's different and difficult. You know, I had this manager that every time he would do pre-shift, he would always look at me. And one time I said to him, why are you always looking at me?
Yeah.
You know I don't do any of these things wrong. So he said, I thought you had the emotional maturity to understand that it is not you. And I said, yeah, but the people that need to understand that it's them don't understand or think that it's them. So what are you really doing?
I don't know. I feel kind of proud when I hear it, which is
You're like,
which
I
is
made that.
hypocritical.
I made it to pre-shift.
Which is hypocritical. I'm sorry for that hypocrisy, because I don't want to hear about shit at pre-shift that my coworkers do because it wastes everyone's time.
But if it's me,
No. Not if it's me, but if it's about me with a certain thing, Like, guys, we can't open bottles of wine without a guest confirming they want another bottle of wine. That's ridiculous.
got it.
And I'll be like, yeah,
All right.
yeah. You worked Saturday.
Yes.
How would you describe in one word our shift this Saturday they just passed? One word.
Tight.
I like that. I was going to say war. Okay, so look.
It was tight. It was
So look. I wanted to get inside of your tropical brain,
Go for it.
your Caribbean brain, right? So Saturday was tight. It was a war on my restaurant floor. Packed as all hell, people waiting to sit down. It was pandemonium. So everyone knows, hey, what the weeds are. Mm-hmm. The weeds are when you're working in hospitality and you're really busy. Mm-hmm. The analogy comes from you're like in high weeds and you can't see out of them. Mm-hmm. All right? Catcher in the rye shit.
Got it.
So Saturday I wasn't in the weeds on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I was a fucking POW behind enemy lines on Saturday. Okay? When you're in the weeds, I thought about this. You're in the weeds, you're like an airline, you're like a fighter pilot. And midway through your flight, your fucking instruments go bad and you hear alarms blaring or you're like, okay, like we're fighter pilots and like we're a pair. So you're Goose and I'm Maverick.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're in the weeds, we're like in combat, right? You're my serving assistant and I'm the server. For example, you got to spot the enemies. Oh, there's an enemy here. Then I go, okay, phew. Then I do the Maverick thing and I shoot him. That's us in the weeds as a team. As a team, we're in the weeds. You're my serving assistant. We're fucking Maverick and Goose, and we're getting through the shit. Top Gun. Yeah. Saturday was not like that. Saturday was my plane crashed behind enemy lines, and I was a POW. And I escaped from the fucking POW camp, and I was in the middle of the woods. Not the weeds, the fucking jungle with nothing in the middle of the night. Maybe I had a machete that I stole from one of the guards.
Got it.
That's it. Listen to this. Saturday night, my serving assistant, gone. Not because he's bad, but because it always happens. You're super busy. Your managers will grab bussers or serving assistants and be like, yo, I need you to go pick up a chair. I need you to go get a table. I need you to do something off the floor. And physically, it's impossible to get anywhere. So, we don't have earpieces. So if I don't see you, you don't exist. It's as simple as that, right? It was just me and my pen and my fucking server pad, right? Against everybody. Against everybody. So in that situation, what do you do? What do you do? This isn't just in the weeds because my bar was getting fucking demolished. Drinks were taking 25, 30 minutes to come out. Kitchen in the shit. Couldn't move. Couldn't get to a computer. It took, my restaurant's like 3,000 square feet, right? From one end to another should take 5 seconds. A 5-second trip on Saturday would take you 2 minutes. You couldn't move anywhere. So, what do? How do you hack your way through the forest and get back to friendly people?
You let it ride one step at a time. Take a deep breath. Just keep going.
Dude. You know what my magic wand is? You know what my machete is in the forest during those moments?
What is it?
Prosecco. Prosecco is my fucking get out of jail card. Prosecco, I have poured so much Prosecco in those situations, you have no idea. On Saturday, I used 3 bottles of Prosecco for my station. 3. And that took people from fuck to
fuck.
Fuck. You know what I mean? You gotta drink something.
Absolutely. That's why it's important for every restaurant to also have some sort of shots, house made, that you can always delegate to those situations. It actually costs you a lot less than champagne. Or if champagne is your weapon of choice, then do that as well. But it's important that you do have something in order for you to pick up the slack.
I tell people, I mean, you've told people, yo, drinks are going to take a long time, or you should order a bottle of liquor or something. When it got really bad, I told people, let's not, you're not going to order cocktails. You're going to order some wine or a bottle of wine, because otherwise it's going to take too long. When it got really bad, when I was hacking away in the fucking forest in the jungle, that's what I would tell people.
Then you got to be honest with them. At least you were honest.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
they know. If you order cocktails, it's going to take an awful long time. And that's what you want to do,
That's it.
and you decided that route yourself.
And you keep hacking and you keep hacking and you keep hacking. And then eventually you'll get to a river, wipe off in the river, and then you cross the river, and then you keep hacking and hacking and hacking and hacking and hacking. And you hear animals in the forest and shit. And then you keep hacking and hacking and
That's
hacking.
why-
And then you get there.
To me, the best the best image that describes what being on the weed is that image of Rambo where he's like, nothing
Just
explains
fucking
that better.
hacking away, bro.
Nothing explains that better.
Hacking away.
I actually, I'm going to close with these 2 little details as well of things that also manage, going back to the toxicity.
You went back to it.
Yeah, I want to just finish that with the toxicity. Those things that also management might do, that how they deal with toxic employees. Number 1, they also alienate the staff as well. They will give you the worst sections. They will give you the worst days. They will give you the cold shoulder. And that's kind of like an indication of you're not kind of welcome here. It's to insist of you doing the deed yourself. Because did you know that, for example, for arriving late, you know how many times you have to arrive late in order for somebody to fire you?
7.
12. It needs to be justified as well. So
close.
it's like, for arriving late, it's not going to happen.
You know what I learned is that if you're not being discriminated against for some special requirement, or you're not being discriminated based on, the classic things, age, sex, religion, that if those things are in place, work doesn't have to be fair. Like going to HR and saying, I'm being treated unfairly, and it's not a violation against any of those things, like HR doesn't have to do anything. First of all, HR is not your friend. I don't know if people know this.
They're not there for you.
HR protects the company.
Correct.
That's another thing for another day. But yeah, so work doesn't have to be fair. So that alienation tactic is a real tactic.
Yeah.
But if you're an employee who's getting alienated against, it really means you fucked up. It really means nobody likes you.
Yeah.
And if nobody likes you, no one's going to dislike you for being a good employee, a good friend, a good coworker, a big seller. So if you're getting alienated, you probably don't possess any of those. So it's your own fault.
So it's time to step it up. And the last thing that managers will do, which is the one that they do the most.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You said it.
They will listen to you and they'll say, "We'll get right on it."
You said it.
That's all they'll
Go
do.
right back down to eating their lukewarm filet and side.
Exactly.
So I took care of these viejitos.
Go for it.
These 3 elderly couples. They were from Knoxville, Tennessee. Super sweet people. We spoke, we bonded, there was rapport. The guy was married to his wife for 38 years.
Damn.
38 fucking years married to somebody. Crazy. Right? At the end, the guy goes, "Oh, do you have a business card or something?" I was like, "No, I don't." I was like, "But what do you need? You need me to help you with reservations?" He was like, No, I want to send you something." And I was like, "Oh, he's going to sell me a little something." Okay. So I was like, I went away and that kind of ended. And then at the end, he was like, well, the reason I wanted your information is because I wanted you to see this. And what he showed me was an Amazon checklist of a book. And he was like, you seem like a wonderful young man, and I see greatness in you, and I think this book's going to help. He went into a whole, he spieled the book. Beautiful. He sold me on the book. He was like, read it now. And trust me, read it again in 20 years. It's going to change based on your life experiences. I was like, and I'm in this new, like,
I can't wait to hear the end of this.
I'm in this new, like, oh, it's not so bad, bro. It's wholesome, but it's wholesome, I swear. I'm in this, like, whatever. I didn't even think about it. I went home that night and I bought it on Amazon, and it arrives. And it's this book right here. It's called Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper. Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper. So, do you know what this book is about?
Don't waste your life.
I'll give you 2 bullet points. It's a Christian spiritual guide urging readers to find ultimate joy and purpose in making God's glory known. It's a Christian, like, evangelical book.
Okay.
So my question to this old man is, what the fuck about my service made you think I needed to focus my life on God? That's my question. What did I do so bad that this fucking guy thinks I need this fucking book? Huh?
You need divine intervention, sir.
Now listen, this is a hospitality podcast. I've got no issues with anyone's choices, personally, spiritually. Do your thing. I personally am not into, like, dogmatic, like, this is the rule, this is the law, religion. That's not me. We don't have to get into it. Why did this fucking guy recommend this book, bro? Why?
Clearly, he did not know where he was or where you stood. Clearly, he probably doesn't know that, what is a good tip.
I bet this is a fantastic book. I bet it's a great book.
Oh, you haven't read it?
I have not read it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't read it. I read the first 3
Do you plan on?
I will. Maybe in a couple of years. I don't know. Not
Maybe
today.
20 years.
Maybe 20 years. I read the first 3 pages and I realized, hey, you know what? It's just not for me.
Okay.
It's not for me. But the fact that this guy felt so strongly to recommend this to me shook my hand. He told me the whole story of this book while we were shaking hands. We never let go of each other's hands. We were connected. And he told me, you need this. I see greatness in you.
Like,
I see the whole time he was shaking my hand.
But,
and you want to know something? The handshake felt good. It wasn't awkward at all. This guy had great energy. But then, why the fuck did he recommend a Christian spiritual guide?
Well,
why did he do that?
Why don't you let us know? Why do you think that this person gave Ed?
Yo.
Don't waste your life.
Okay, hold on. Just objectively, do you think that I'm a good person?
Yeah.
Now, why the fuck do I need that? Why do I need that? I'm down 14. Can I return this still?
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I'm down $14 on this book. Again, John Piper, congratulations. You seem like a talented person.
Well, I mean, I think that yes, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But some books actually will add to you. Yes, we've worked 20 years in this industry, but I'm actually reading, that book that everybody's reading. I'm sure the hospitality.
You want this?
No, I want to actually show this one.
Okay.
So everybody's talking.
I'm conflicted, bro, because
everyone's talking about this book, and obviously I've been reading it. So I got this whole part done already, and I try to build the habit of, when I get up and instead of going to the restroom with my phone, I go to the restroom with my book, and little by little I've been reading on it, and I will say that even though I've been doing this for a long ass time, it doesn't mean that I can't learn something new. So perhaps it doesn't mean that you are wasting your life. It just means that perhaps there's something else in there that might be of worth to you.
If I ever see this guy again,
until you try.
If I ever see that guy again, I'm gonna have some words with him, bro.
I hope that you do so, but just with a handshake. All right, just have the whole story while you're holding that hand.
You have no idea my reaction at home when I got this book. I was excited. I was like, man, I trust my elders. Like, they seem like wonderful people. No. They were wonderful people. And I was like, yeah, man. I'm into this thing where, like, let's read, let's improve, let's learn.
There you go. Last word, sir?
I've said the greatest word there is.
I do want to bring one thing that I forgot to mention, and that is when management or your coworkers as well want to complain about you, right? One thing that is very important that you do is that you have to look at yourself in the mirror first. Because there's so many people that complain about someone else when they don't follow the rules themselves. Like, let's say, oh, you want to complain about, oh, that person doesn't arrive on time, but I'm never dressed the part. I look like shit. Or I don't know how to properly talk to other people. So, again, if you want to complain about someone, maybe before you do so, take a little look at yourself. Just saying. It goes a long way. Now, if you're ready, we do have this question that we kind of inspired the episode today. And it came from a person that works in an office and says, I have this coworker who never helps. Mm-hmm. When we're busy, he or she is always on their phone, not paying attention. And when we need help, again, it doesn't come. What can we do? Or what can I do?
Are we translating that to a restaurant?
However you like.
Well, if it's a pool house, then one of the benefits to a pool house is you can police each other. Not narc on each other, but govern each other. Like govern the quality of the camaraderie. So if you are the person in this scenario who works at my restaurant and we have a pool for tips and you're not contributing, then it's a very simple conversation. You know, it's like, yo, we're a team. You gotta help out.
Yeah.
And that's usually like all it takes. You know, sometimes people go through shit. Like I said, you know, life still happens even though you work anywhere. So sometimes you come into work with shit on your mind and you do your best not to display those things to guests. But, you know, we're all human. So maybe that person is down or dealing with some serious shit and it happens. But if it comes from a place of like laziness or it comes from like a place of premeditated lack of contribution, then that's a conversation. And then if the conversation doesn't work, then it's a clock out and walk 3 blocks away situation. It's as simple as that. As simple as that.
Now I'm gonna, as we mentioned, the first thing you might want to do is try to talk to the person and perhaps offer help. But if none of those work, then I have 2 little quick tips here that you perhaps can send them their way. Now, if you're receiving this, it means that your performance has slipped recently. Consider this a friendly nudge from your team to step it up and get back on track. Now, if you're getting this message, it means we've already discussed your recent slip in performance and your lack of motivation is impacting the team and the operation. Remember, we do not need you to be passionate about service or about what we do here. We just need you to show up and do the job, the one you signed up for. If that's not possible, please do us all a favor and stay home. Thank you for listening.
Or quit. Take care, everybody. Stay home. That was too nice. Get that fucking person out of there. Stay home. Fuck up the whole vibe. Share my money and stay home if you're not feeling it. No, get another fucking job.
There you go.
Take care. Take care, everybody.
See what we got here. Just want to read some stuff here. We got no audio. Thank you so much for letting us know. Can't hear that, you guys. It says 50% extra from you to pay your check. There you go. 100%. It's an extra service that we don't offer for your freedom, my G. That was when you about to sell. Perfect. Hello, guys. Late but present. Audio is okay here. What's this here? You need to book. You need the book. Look at this.
I see.
Is it? You need the book. Go ahead.
Because you have a 1-star rate performance. Okay, that table man, and that was nice. Wait to say to you, son, find another job or hobby.
I don't know. All right. Maybe the spiritual. Oh, maybe he saw the spiritualism in your eyes.
Maybe that's the guy. Maybe that's him. He saw spiritualism in your eyes.
All right. Thank you so much. See you next week.